tonight, eh?
Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Hey, everybody out there in podcast land. It's your old buddy Lionel, and today, this podcast, this AML podcast, this modeler's life happening, this meeting, this gathering of the clan is all about the Kelly questions. We have 3 more episodes of the Kelly questions, and these particular interviews have been hermetically sealed in a mayonnaise jar for almost a year. And no one knows the contents of these questions until they are released here today. So gather close to your radios, make sure your earbuds are insecure, because we are about to listen to the Kelly questions of one James Mattern, a locomotive engineer, Well, he works on locomotives for the Norfolk Southern. We're going to hear Jason Quinn, who owns a Mustang and spends a lot of time at DCC trains in Cincinnati and models the chassis system. And he's been on Ken Patterson's show more than once. And Ken Patterson wears me out. Ken Patterson, literally, just watching him, wears me out. And finally, little Mike. It's Mike Wichowski. In his real life, is the head nurse at a hospital in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and many times is left in charge. Okay, without further ado, it's the Kelly questions. Rounds 36, 37, and 38. Subway chime. Go. I'm not sure how well this is going to go.
Are your headphones plugged in?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they are for a change.
Yeah.
So I screwed up. So tonight, Bruce, we're doing the Kelly questions with Mike Wichowski.
Yes.
He lives in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I know where that is.
Which is also the home of the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Yes.
I love saying that. I think I'm only going to interview people from Green Bay from now on, just so I can go, the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Which was actually a guy from ESPN, Berman. What's his name? Len Berman? Len Berman.
Ed Berman?
No, I think it's I forget.
Yeah, the Berman.
The Berman guy.
The Berman guy.
Yeah. So anyways, we're going to interview Mike Wichowski tonight. We're going to do Kelly questions with him, but we've already done them once because I screwed up. I forgot to plug in my headphones.
Uh-oh.
Remember there about a year and a half ago, there was the great kerfuffle about the photo?
Oh, yes, the great kerfuffle.
Yeah, the great Patreon kerfuffle where I put on the wrong photo for a few hours.
Yes.
A couple of hours, it was a photo of a scantily clad woman.
Yes.
She wasn't really clad at all.
True that.
And what happened was I was trying to figure out if Patreon has this goofy thing. It's actually your fault because they have this goofy little picture. And I can't figure out the how many pixels I'm supposed to make it. So I just grabbed that photo and stuck it in there. And then I forgot it was there and then sent the podcast out. So
yeah.
And you're the guy that's in charge of pixels. So you should have had it scoped out. You're in the charge of the pixel department.
When in doubt, you should have asked me first.
You think?
Hey, Wilson, is this okay to send out? No.
Well,
it's to certain groups maybe, but not this one.
Well, it wasn't so much that. It's the pixel department. You're the guy in charge. You've been vice president in charge of pixels forever.
That's true.
Okay, Mike, come on in here, buddy.
All right. Hi.
Again, yeah. But it's been quite some time ago since we aired your interview. You've probably gone through one winter. You've probably driven up and down. You're a supervisor. You're a hospital supervisor in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
That's correct.
The former head offices of AML, we moved them to Busted Knuckle, Kentucky. We moved the Mildred A. McCracken building to Busted Knuckle, Kentucky. We put it on a float and just sent her down the highway. There's a couple of bridges that were a bit hard to get under.
Yeah, I was wondering where that building went to. It's a big field now.
Yeah, exactly. It's this big hole in here. We just sucked her right out of the ground, took the foundation and everything.
I
Problem
was
is,
there one day and gone the next.
yeah.
Yep.
Problem is, we don't know where Busted Knuckle, Kentucky is. So we sent the truck to Busted Knuckle, Kentucky, but now we don't know where the building is. There is actually a Busted Knuckle auto repair though, so we're closing in on it. Thanks to Peter Borchards, he notified us that there's a Busted Knuckle auto repair. So,
That's
and
good to get closer.
which, by coincidence, you have a degree in auto repair.
I do.
So maybe you could find it. You are that guy. Remember, Bruce, in his interview, we determined that Mike is that guy.
You did determine he was that guy.
Yeah, that guy in continental United States that has a bachelor's degree in nursing, working on his master's degree in nursing, has a degree in auto mechanics, ran into another pizza delivery guy when he was delivering pizzas.
Yep.
On the way to the police station.
Yeah, I went on the way to the police station. Spent one semester in River Falls, Wisconsin, home of the fighting floppy bass. I can't even say that without laughing. The home of the fighting flopping bass. Oh my God, I can't even say it. I'm killing myself laughing. And no, you ever see that thing where there's only one guy laughing in the room? It's like you're at a bar and one guy's killing himself and everybody's looking at him like it's not that funny. All right. So anyways, you're that guy. And you're a model railroader.
Yep.
All right, let's get right to this. Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Diesel.
Why?
Because I know nothing about steam.
I thought your very first model train or train of smaller dimensions, the kind of train you could run on your table. I thought your very first train was a steam locomotive.
Right. Well, I was the Lionel steam locomotive, but
And you still have it?
I do.
And yet your favorite is diesel?
It is.
Do you have a particular diesel that is your favorite?
The SD40 T2.
The SD40 T2. You know what it was used for? It was used in the Moffat Tunnel because the exhaust from the heat from the exhaust would get into the intake for the motor.
Right.
And
So keep it cooler.
Yeah, it would heat everything up. So they moved the intake. What do they call it? The intake. What do they call it? The intake. The induct. The intake something or other. What do they call that? Where the air sucks in.
The intake.
Okay, yeah, but it seems like it should have another word that goes with it.
Like thinger? Like intake thinger?
Yeah, the intake thingy.
Doohickey.
Well, in NASCAR, okay, this takes me to an aside. In NASCAR, in the truck division, they have these intake hoses that they use on the super speedways. Intake ducts, like ducts. Intake ducts, DUCTS. And if they move them from 3.5 inches to 2.5 inches, they can cut the horsepower down as much as 50 to 60%, or 50 to 60 horsepower, from like 540 to 480. Why you need a pickup truck with like 480 horsepower, I'm not 100% sure, but I guess if you're going at speeds at 200 plus miles an hour, I guess maybe you do. So it's intake ducts, is what it is. So that's what we've been able to determine through the help of NASCAR. And
Okay.
now I'll insert crickets. All right. What's your favorite prototype railroad?
The Denver and Rio Grande Western.
And why is that?
Probably goes back to seeing it as a kid when I was a skier. So out in Winter Park, and I saw the trains running through the Moffat Tunnel there. And a lot of it just because I really like Colorado, so I wanted to model something out there. And the Rio Grande is just kind of a fascinating railroad.
How old were you the first time you went to Colorado?
I believe I was 14.
And you went to Colorado because your mother and father are huge fans of downhill skiing?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, some people haven't heard this.
Oh, I suppose, yeah.
So
No, they don't ski at all.
your mother is Nancy Green, world famous Canadian gold medalist for Canada.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Why do you like? How did you end up downhill skiing? And so your brother downhill skis.
Nope, I'm an only child.
Your uncle's downhill ski.
Nope. One of my mom's friends was a big downhill skier, and she took me when I was 7, and I got hooked right away. So I went out to Colorado the first time, actually with her and her family, and we went to Winter Park, and that's where I kind of saw this for the first time, and I got fascinated with the Western railroads. And when I bought my house, or before I bought my house, I wanted to do something more Western versus the Midwest, like everybody else does around here, and the rest is kind of history.
And you finished 8th in the 2002 Winter Olympic Games.
Right.
You know what you want to know?
Prague.
What's that?
In Prague, right?
In Prague, yeah.
Salt Lake City.
Is that where they were?
Is that where it was?
Salt Lake City.
Was it actually in 2002?
It was.
Wow, that's a shot.
Oh, what are the chances of that?
That's a shot in the dark that landed right on the target. Yeah, okay. Yeah. He was in Prague, and he wouldn't leave the ski hill, so finally says, listen, you finished 8th in the Winter Olympics. Go home. Well, I thought it was funny, Bruce.
Okay.
Bruce, you sound tired.
No.
All right, okay. If you were rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
Ride on them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how often do you go rail fanning?
Not as much as I'd like, which is kind of funny because there's a main line. The CN main line is only 6 blocks from my house, so you'd think I would go down there more often than I do, but that whole life thing kind of gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, and so what was your first model train?
It was a Lionel steam engine of my dad's, and then my first one that was officially mine was a HO scale Santa Fe something or another
Yes.
train set.
I had one of those Santa Fe something or others.
Yeah,
They ran well.
they did. I think it had a rubber band drive on it.
Oh, I love those rubber band drives. There's no way to make them run smooth, no matter what you did. And then they had those little hustlers. I think they actually had an RDC with a rubber band drive, Athern did. I guess at one time they had everything.
They did. They had the Hustler and the RDCs, the rubber band drive.
Yeah. I wonder how they came up with that idea.
Somebody thought it was a good idea at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
But I remember the Pacific Northwest region of the NMRA or division, the 6th division. They used to have hustler races at their meets.
Hustler races.
They get the rubber band hustlers out and race them.
There's nothing more exciting than 43 rubber banded hustlers out on a 2.5 mile high banked oval.
That's it. without restrictor plates.
Yeah, without restrictor plates, exactly. But those rubber band drives, I think we need somebody to investigate the history of the rubber band drive. Because they were annoying. You couldn't run them smoothly.
Oh, and they'd always get that sort of wah, 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 wah when they
Yeah,
stop.
I know.
But they were fun.
Yes.
Can you imagine the difference between model railroading in the rubber band drive days and nowadays? Everything runs so smooth.
Well, DCC with rubber bands. Maybe that's the new thing.
Yeah, there you go. DC with a rubber band drive. Now there you go. DCC with a rubber band drive. All right. What's your favorite model railroad scale?
HO.
True or false? Is N scale dead?
I don't understand that question.
You refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may incriminate you?
Right.
Incriminate
No,
you?
I believe it or not, I believe it is false, surprisingly, but I think it is alive and well.
Yeah.
Or alive and kicking, maybe not well, but it's kicking.
It's not so much dead, it's just lost in the hobby.
Right, it's misunderstood.
Yeah, it's misunderstood. Yeah, that's it. It's misunderstood. It's the misunderstood child of model railroading.
Right.
It runs so well now, though.
Yeah, it's amazing.
What's your favorite model railroad?
That would be. I gotta look this up. I screwed it up last time too, so I want to get it right the first time.
Last time? What do you mean last time? Oh yeah, we already told everybody that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no secrets here.
No secret. Yeah, we have no secrets at the AML network. We are an open book at the AML network.
Right. It is the Pulaski, Gillette, and Leona Railroad of Jim Elby.
The Pulaski,
Gillette, and Leona Railroad. The PG&L.
the old PG&L.
Yeah.
Pulaski. Better spell
Gillette.
that.
Want to spell it?
Yeah, I want you to spell it. I don't want to spell it.
Pulaski. And then Gillette.
Pulaski.
Yeah. And Gillette is Gillett. And then Leona is Laona.
Those are three. Is that a local? Is that an actual prototype?
I believe so.
All right, and somewhere in Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah. Those are three towns in Wisconsin here. I believe it actually ran between the three.
All right, and your friend Jim Elby has this layout.
Yep, and he's the one that got me very interested in operations. He's very big into JMRI. And he has it's a very nice switching layout.
Okay, and how do you spell that name?
Jim.
I tried to walk you into that one, but you saw the wall coming. I tried to walk
it coming and put her down the first baseline.
All right. Who's the most influential model railroader for you?
I'd say Luke Lemons.
Luke Lemons, and you guys met when you were 11.
Right.
And when's your wife's birthday?
It is January 8th.
And when's Luke Lemons' birthday?
Amazingly, the same day.
And his son Owen?
Yep, same time.
Everybody's born on January the 8th.
Yep.
Do you still get now? Do you screw up, or do you get your wife some good birthday presents, even though it's so close to Christmas?
No, I always make it a point to get her something good for her birthday. My youngest son was actually born on January 2nd too, so he has
holy moly,
even closer. So yeah, we always make a point to separate the two, not combine them into one.
Well, that's a good idea. And how do you do on Valentine's Day?
Oh, I do good.
Okay.
We usually go out to eat. Sometimes we get flowers, sometimes don't, but I always get her something. And
you always get her something. You don't ignore it. You're not like Lemons and Oster Tag where you kind of go, oh no, it's okay. She told me don't worry about it. You're not.
Yeah, I don't pick any fights with my wife on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, there's a real brain trust, those two clowns, Lemons and Oster Tag. Okay. Let's see. Select one of the following as your favorite: bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical.
I'd say track work is probably my favorite. And a close second is scenery.
All right. And have you gotten any scenery done on your layout now?
I have a little bit. I started putting a couple mountains in a couple years ago. I actually have my layout open for a local train show here in town. So I got on this extremely motivated. A deadline is like nothing else to get something done.
Yeah.
So I started doing some scenery, and that's about as far as I got.
All right. And when you had the open house, was it a success or a failure?
It was. I was surprised how many people came through. And actually, one of the guys that comes over and helps me regularly now, I met at that open house. He came over to see it, and he stayed the whole time, and we've been kind of friends ever since.
Oh, that's cool. What's his name?
Jason. I always get his last name
Oh, man.
wrong.
Jason.
Hold on.
All right.
Crickets.
Is it Oster Tag?
No.
All right.
I think it's Hetke, Hethke.
Okay, Jason, I apologize. He said you were a good friend, so apparently you're
we're on a first name basis.
Yeah, apparently you're only an acquaintance, Jason.
No, him and Luke were over last night helping me out.
Oh, were they?
Yep.
What did you guys work on?
Well, Luke, being the brilliant can fix anything and make anything that he is, I learned a valuable lesson the other night that you shouldn't go cutting gaps in your track with a Dremel after working 4 night shifts in a row, and wasn't thinking too good. and it kind of messed up this turnout he had just put in for me. So he kind of came over and shook his head at me and fixed it for me, and then made this spring switch for it so it would spring open when it was on the reversing loop, so it could
Oh, really?
stay closed, so run through. Yeah, he can make anything out of anything.
Yeah. So it's on a spring, so it's always when you enter the reversing loop, it's one way, and then as you go through it, it automatically.
It can push through, yeah, but then it snaps back.
That must be a pretty light spring to get it to for the cars to be able to keep it over there.
Yeah, he made it. He used a piece of piano wire and 2 nails and got this thing hooked up, and it's kind of ingenious.
Yeah, I think that Luke, and he makes good pumpkin cookies too. Luke,
For the pumpkin or chocolate chip?
no, Luke made pumpkin cookies for the picnic.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah, Barb made chocolate chip,
that's right. And there was brownies.
and there was brownies, and yes, Kristen made brownies.
Yep.
It was a
But
good
no watermelon.
And there was a watermelon, but that's a whole. Somehow Andy Dorsch got a hold of that straight ball, and that's a whole another story altogether. Okay, so then the next question is, if you could give somebody starting out in the hobby just one item, and cost was no object, what would it be?
I think it'd be like a Fremo module, either partially built or completely built and scenic, or at least enough with the module and track and some wiring on it, so they could start using that, and then they'd also have the option to take it to Fremo meets and meet other people and kind of get involved in the hobby that way.
Right. And that's a great idea. Fremo is actually a much better idea than people. That's a great way to be in the hobby, I think.
Absolutely. I'm really interested in the Ashland and Oshkosh that Andy and
Andy and our friend Jeremy Dumler are building.
yeah, thank you, Jeremy, are doing. Yeah,
Straight ball and the whiz kid.
Straight
Yep.
ball and the whiz kid, absolutely.
actually, Jason that I was just talking about, he actually works with Andy at Oshkosh Truck, and he's building modules to hook into that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, interesting.
I know, yeah. Somehow I got talking to Andy about that, and some guy, yeah, he was walking. Somehow they hooked up, and he listens to the podcast or something,
Yep.
and yeah, so exactly. So, okay, Jason, how do you say his last? You don't know his last name.
I know how to spell it, I just don't know how to say it.
All right, spell it one time with some feeling.
Hethke.
Hethke.
Yeah.
Hethke. Man, that's it.
Hethke.
Yeah,
Hethke.
Hethke.
yeah. How about if we just call him Jason?
That works.
And if he's listening, let us know.
Send us send us something, Jason, so we can learn how to pronounce your name and then screw it up.
Right.
Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
I would say majority of the stuff I buy online now. I try to use our local hobby shop as much as possible, but online it a lot of times comes on a price, so I get it online.
Yeah, and is there anybody in particular online, or you just kind of shop around wherever the best price is?
Kind of shop around. I guess it depends what I'm looking for. The nice thing about being in the hobby for so long is I don't really need a whole lot of stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So it kind of saves a lot of money.
Did you get anything in the mail today?
I did. I got some Fast Tracks assembly fixtures.
How many did you get?
Oh, I just got one, and then I got the point forming tool on the
Right.
stockade tool.
And
And some quick
was it
sticks
a
and
number 8?
number 5.
Number 6?
5.
Okay. 5 is a good. I like the number 5 turnout. I think that's.
I do too.
It's compact yet it's not too sharp. It serves an excellent purpose. Number 5.
Absolutely.
Favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
That'd be Train Fest.
And Milwaukee.
Right.
And are you going this year?
I am.
Did you go last year?
I haven't been in almost 10 years.
Technically, more commonly when something's your favorite, you attend it more than once every 10 years.
Yeah, it seems to always fall on the weekend. I got to work, so it's been.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're a supervisor in a hospital.
Yeah, it doesn't close on the weekend.
Yeah, you run the whole hospital when you're there.
Yeah.
They show up and say, "Sorry, Gone Train will be back Monday at 8."
Yeah. Yeah. How many beds do you have in that hospital?
I think we can hold about 60 patients. We usually have about 35 though.
60. So you're in charge of a 60-bed hospital.
Yeah.
I find that unsettling. No, I don't. I'm just kidding. Actually, I do. Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Regular beer.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Do you have one?
We have 2, and actually we're babysitting another one right now, so we have 3 running around here.
3 running around there. What kind of dogs do you guys have?
We have a black lab and a Shih Tzu, so big and small.
Right.
And then the one we're babysitting is a blue heeler.
A blue.
Oh, those are great dogs.
What's a blue heeler?
It's a herding dog. It's
A cattle herding dog.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of like a terrier kind of dog.
No, bigger. Like they're almost lab sized.
Yeah.
Do they all shed?
Do they what?
Shed. Does hair fall?
Oh, shed? Oh God, terrible. She's like dropping hair everywhere around here.
How old's the lab?
I think she's 10 or 11.
Does she have a name?
Lana.
Lana?
Yep.
Like as in Turner?
Sure.
Well, how did you come up with that name?
She came with it.
Oh, okay. It was a rescue dog?
Yeah, she came from the Humane Society.
Oh, okay. Cool. So
Excellent.
She was like 2 or 3 when you got her or something, or 1 or something?
Yeah. 2 years old, I think, when we got her.
All right, cool. And she eats everything in the world?
Yeah, except for vegetables.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
I never, most labs I ever met will eat anything.
Yeah, no, she won't eat vegetables. She thinks she can eat potatoes, but she can't. You'll find them later in the day.
And okay, so and the Shih Tzu, how old's that one?
I think she's 3 or 4. We just got her too. She was a rescue as well. She came from a puppy mill.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You guys are awesome. And what's her name?
Her name is Lexi.
And she already had the name?
Yep.
And when you got your kids, were they already named, or did you name them?
No, that was a lot more challenging.
Okay. What are your kids' names?
My oldest is Taylor. She's 22.
Wow.
And my older son is Michael. And my younger son is Matthew.
So how old is Michael?
Michael is 13.
Wow, there's a big difference between Taylor and Michael.
Right. Actually, Taylor's my stepdaughter.
Okay.
But she knows no different in life, so she's
perfect.
Mine.
Yeah, so she's yours. Exactly.
Yeah.
And how old is your youngest one?
He's 10.
And you were telling me you were going to be a grandfather or something.
Yeah, I actually am. I have 2 grandkids.
Holy moly.
Yeah, 2 granddaughters.
Well, you are a going concern. And what are their names?
The older one is Ava, and the younger one is Catalina.
Do you have all these birthdays written down?
No, actually, I have it memorized though, which is amazing.
Yeah, I sure did. I remember your interview. You could barely remember your own name. Never mind birthdays.
Right.
Okay, so Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
All right. And what's your favorite soda?
Diet Mountain Dew.
I know, I'm becoming attracted to that myself.
Yeah, I actually have a Pepsi machine in my garage.
You do?
I have a full-size Pepsi machine.
And how'd you manage that?
I found it on Facebook. On
Facebook.
Craigslist.
Craigslist.
Yep.
So one night you decided you wanted to buy a Pepsi machine?
Kind of. One of the nurses I work with, her husband worked for Pepsi, and she was telling me how they had a Pepsi machine in the garage. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So I hit Craigslist, and there's a lot of them out there. I was really surprised. So I paid the guy $250. He dropped it off and plugged it in, and it's full of soda.
And does it work?
It does.
Wow. I'm
It
looking
takes a
at
nickel to get a soda out.
a nickel.
Yeah.
See, if I was in my garage, I'd be charging myself 20 cents. That's cool. That is cool. And so the guy came and delivered it and everything?
Yeah, I was surprised. Kind of like, because when I bought it, I'm like, I got to figure out how to get this thing home. He's like, well, I'll bring it over to your house for you. I'm like, okay.
Wait, bring it in a pickup truck or something?
Yeah. Put it in the back of his pickup truck and drove it over here.
Wow. That's cool. Maybe
The thing weighs like 700 pounds
I
empty.
know.
So.
They weigh forever.
Yeah.
That's like the time Barb's arm got caught in a soda machine.
Yeah, I heard you saying that. That had to be a sight to see.
It was a sight to see. I was sitting in my office, and all of a sudden I hear her go, I know! And I'm like, yeah. And then I hear the pitch gets a little higher in the scream, and I'm thinking, and then you know how when your brain kind of goes, should I be paying more attention to this? And my brain kind of started doing that thing, and then I heard her scream again, and by that time I'm thinking, something's wrong. So I ran back there, and she managed to have her arm up to maybe halfway to her elbow was in the machine. And by now she's like screaming and crying. And I'm like, what? And somehow I had the wherewithal to unplug the machine right away. I don't know how. And so anyways, I got the machine unplugged and got it turned off, and which relieved some of the pressure on her brain anyways. So then I opened the door, and she had gotten her, so somehow she was in there trying to get a jammed can out, and then the machine started to do something, and she got so scared or exasperated or frightened or whatever, basically she was clenching onto the part of the machine inside. And I said, well, open your fingers and see what happens. She says, I don't want, I'm afraid to. And I said, well, I can't get your hand out if you don't open your fingers and let go of the machine. So as soon as she let go of the machine, her hand came out.
So right out.
Yeah, it was quite the event. I'll never forget that day, though. Like, she started screaming.
What kind of soda was she after?
It was a Coke machine, which was
All
part
right.
of the problem, because you can't trust Coke machines.
Right.
You can't trust Coke at all. I mean, you just can't. Okay. Favorite hot dog condiment or condiments?
Well, up until recently, it was ketchup, but I have been
Attaboy.
thus far educated about
Yeah.
this relish and mustard thing, and actually had 2 for lunch today.
Attaboy. There you go. Now you're getting somewhere. Now we're starting to make inroads into society about the proper AML condiment application. It's not.
Oh, look. Luke is texting me right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
About hot dogs?
No, he's asking how the re-interview is going.
The re-interview, yeah. Tell him I forgot to plug in my earphones again.
He should. We're going to do it again next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell them not as good as you'd hope.
Yeah. Ask him if there's any pumpkin cookies.
Okay, I will.
Have you ever been bungee jumping?
No,
Would you like to go bungee jumping?
not really.
Why does anybody want to go bungee jumping?
Right, that's a lot of faith in a piece of rope.
Yeah, a lot of faith in a piece of rope. And also, you know what's going to happen? You're in the medical field. I'm telling you right now, this is something you're going to experience in the next 10 to 15 to 20 years. People are going to be coming to your hospital. You're going to experience people that are having back surgery because when they were younger, they used to go bungee jumping, and they completely screwed up their back or their ligament system. That's what's going to happen. It's like, hello, Earth to anybody, dropping off a building and suddenly snapping yourself back.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. It's kind of like, you're on a 737 and one engine goes out. And the guy beside you says, how far do you think this second engine will get us? All the way to the scene of the crash.
Exactly.
If you were a beer can, what size would you be?
48 ounce or a mini keg or something.
Mini keg, yeah, a 48 ounce.
Barrel.
What's your favorite kind of beer?
My favorite beer is Spotted Cow.
Spotted Cow.
Yeah, it's made by the New Glarus Brewing Company in New Glarus, Wisconsin.
I've heard of that before. And
yeah, I think somebody else was talking about it. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, somebody was talking about Spotted Cow.
I think it was Andy Dorsch.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, that sounds like a Dorsch move. Yeah, it's Spotted Cow.
Luke says, not currently there for special occasions.
If you were okay, how many pairs of shoes do you have?
5.
All right, let's go through them. You got your dress shoes.
Yep.
You got your sneakers.
Yep.
You got a second pair of sneakers.
Yep. That I use for mowing the lawn.
Yeah, me too. Wow, we could be brothers.
Almost.
That's 3. You got a pair of casual shoes.
Pair of sandals.
Pair of sandals.
Yep.
What's number 5?
My work shoes, because I do not wear my shoes home from the hospital.
Oh yeah, what kind of shoes do you have for walking around the hospital?
It's just a pair of Nikes.
All right, and why don't? Oh, because of bacteria and what have you, or what?
Yeah, hospitals aren't really clean, so you don't really want to be bringing that stuff home.
Well, shouldn't they be? Because you're trying to make people better. Wouldn't cleanliness be kind of important?
Well, it is, but they're not as clean as you would.
It's not that they're
Good
not.
thing.
It's not that they're not clean. It's that you can't avoid getting germs and such on your feet because there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Right, you got a collection of sick people in the same building, so it kind of accumulates.
Do you ever get sick? Do you get sick more often being in a hospital, or do you manage to avoid that?
Actually, when I first became a nurse, I was sick every 3 weeks, probably for the first year and a half, and then your immunity just becomes like rock solid, and I really don't get sick very often anymore
Okay,
because I'm exposed to so much stuff, and
right.
it's kind of cool. But the first couple years sucked.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How many times have you solved a Rubik's cube?
Never.
Have you ever tried?
I have, and then I think I got 3 colors together and said, you know what, I got better things to do.
If you were a superhero, what sort of powers would you have?
I think to not to have to sleep.
No. Oh yeah, we talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah, so I can get more done.
Not sleep man.
Right.
And you'd
Like a
have
sheep.
yeah, you'd have a couple of sheep on your costume would be. This is what I'm imagining your costume to be. Very very light blue, kind of a pastel blue, very light pastel blue, with a gold belt and a gold cape, and you'd be masked, and your head you'd have some sort of a head ornament that would have a lot of wool type stuff on it, like
Right.
polyfiber or something to make it look like sheep's wool or something, with 2 ears and 2 eyes.
And I drive a Prius.
Yeah, and you drive a Prius. That's right. Exactly. And it's no sleep man. And you go around the country looking for people that have overslept.
Right.
Exactly. Have you ever had a brush with the law?
I have.
And what was it?
I got a speeding ticket one time, and then there was that slight accident that I was in with delivering pizza to the police station.
How fast were you going when you got the speeding ticket?
I think I was going like 15 over, so it wasn't horrible.
In town or out of town?
It was on the highway.
Okay, so in 40 years you've had 2 brushes with the law?
Yep.
Man, oh man, I've had 2 brushes with the law this week. Nah, I'm doing better than that. It's probably been about a month. Well, actually, it was last Friday. Because,
Good thing you own a driving school.
yeah, well, this wasn't a driving, this was a parade-related incident. This was, we were at the Alliston Potato Festival parade, and we put in some of our cars and some of our people, and we're in the parade, and to get to our spot in the parade, for some reason, it's like our 5th year in a row in the parade, and it's always been easy to get there. So we pull up to this intersection. Yeah, actually, I have had it's been a week, less than a week. It's been, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I had a brush with the law within the last 5 days. There's something wrong with me. So anyways, we pull up to this intersection, and it's all blocked off because of the parade at one end of town. We're at the east end of town. So Barb, who was with me, says, just go around those cones and talk to the police officer. And I'm like, I don't think so. They look like they're being. No. Just go around these cones. So of course I go around the cones, and the first thing out of the officer, it was a woman. And the first thing out of her mouth was, "That was very dangerous what you just did there." And I'm like, "They're cones." Like there's nobody coming. Look behind you. The road is deserted because you got it blocked off. She says, that was very dangerous. And I'm like, oh, okay. She says, you can't go this way. And I said, well, we're in the parade. Well, you have to go down that road. And I'm like, and I said, well, how do I get there? Well, she says, go down there and make a U-turn. So then I went and I made the U-turn. And I wasn't testy, but I was like, Barb was getting excited. We had to get to the parade. So I made the U-turn in, let's say, a hurry. So then as I'm coming back, she puts her hand up and stops me again. And she says, what do you think you're doing? And I'm like, now I'm thinking it's a trick question because I'm sure she just told me to make a U-turn. And I said, didn't you just tell me to turn around? She says, well, not at that speed. And I'm thinking I was going like 12. It was like a 5-lane road. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. So then it was on to the next place. Then we ran into 2 or 3 other police officers that we couldn't get into the parade. And then we finally got to the parade, and you have to wait for like an hour and a half it's enough time to order pizza. So we're waiting for the parade to start, but there's people, there's clowns walking around and Shriners in their little go-karts and all the kinds of stuff you'd see before. It's kind of like the start of the Miracle on 34th Street parade. And there's all kinds of parade activity. And then there's this cop coming down the other way, and he's got the lights going and everything. And I thought, hey, this is a great opportunity to take a picture of a police vehicle right behind me. So I kind of stand sort of in the way, like he's only going like 10 miles an hour. So I stand sort of in front of him, and I take the picture, and then, of course, he pulls up beside me and says, what are you doing? And I thought, oh, I was just taking a picture. You're standing right in front of me. So I got yelled at probably that night on 4 separate occasions by a policeman.
Wow.
You're on a roll.
Yeah, but other than that, went pretty smoothly. So there's something wrong with me. All right. So, have you ever been on TV?
I have.
All right. How'd you manage that?
When I was a member of the Moderato Club here in town, they had an open house, and the local news station came down to do a story on it, and I was on TV running trains.
There you go. And how old were you then?
I think I was in 6th or 7th grade, so 11 or 12, something like that.
So you haven't been on TV for 30 years?
Yeah, I guess not.
All right, well, get yourself all painted up for the next Packers game because you're going to live in Green Bay. Get yourself all painted up for the next Packers game and go smack a cop in the head and you'll be on TV. Or smack whoever they're playing, smack a Minnesota Viking fan in the head. That'll get you on TV. Let me see here. What's next? Oh, I got to turn on them. Oh, geez, look at that. It's gone all goofy on me. My script has gone all goofy. All right. So, have you ever been on TV? Who's your best friend?
I'd be my wife.
Okay, Christina.
Yep.
Our buddy Christina. And do you know her birthday?
I do.
All right.
I just can't remember Luke's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we can't remember Luke's. Yeah, go with that, buddy. What's your favorite zoo animal? This one is a high point question, so you have to make sure you get it right.
Yeah, this is throwing me here. Probably a giraffe.
Giraffe?
Yeah.
People like giraffes for some reason or other.
Yeah, I don't know why either. They're just kind of fascinating.
Yeah, I know. People like giraffes. I think they're generally a placid animal. Mm-hmm. And yet they stand out they have long necks, eh?
Right, just a little bit.
Yeah, unusually long necks. I wonder what our creator was thinking when he created giraffes. Hey, I'm going to make one of these. I wonder what one of these would look like with a long neck. What would a cow look like with a long neck and long legs?
Right.
What's your favorite sport, baseball or hockey?
Hockey.
If you could choose only one professional sports team to root for, would it be The Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
The Maple Leafs.
Attaboy. If you were stranded on a desert island with just one person, would you prefer to be with Bruce the mail boy or Lionel the annoying guy?
I'd say Lionel.
Okay. Any particular reason?
I think we'd entertain each other
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah. And then,
Or kill each other.
well, the problem with that is after a while, after being in air and entertaining each other for a while, then you just get sick of each other, and that's when the problems really start.
Yeah, probably.
What's your favorite podcast?
Modeller's Life.
All right, and you said something once before. It was really cool. I asked you something. I don't even remember what we were talking about, and you said you've learned so much about model railroading from the podcast.
Yeah, in the last year, listening to the podcast, I've learned more about model railroading than probably in the last 15 or 20, just because of the exposure of everything that I did not know existed, all thanks to you guys.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, eh, Bruce?
It is very cool.
It's very cool. Makes it seem like it's all worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I would have never known about scale trains if it wouldn't been for the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of them before, and lo and behold, I bought stuff from them now.
Yeah, now you're buying stuff from them. We got to make sure we tell Shane that. Maybe I can get a cut or something.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. All right, so it's time to do the scores, Bruce.
Okay, ciphering away. There's a Gazinta. Take away. Okay, I've got 3.21.
Well, for me, it was going really well, and it went generally okay. But when we got to the zoo animal,
yeah,
I felt that his answer was very vanilla. Yeah, everybody likes it. Like if he picked like rhinoceros or hippo or something like that.
See, I would go with the hippo because there's been that video of late of the hippo farting, which is absolutely hilarious.
You might have a bit too much time on your hands, Bruce.
Yeah, it could be. Could be.
Anyways,
but if you haven't seen it, look her up on YouTube. It's hilarious.
All right. How do you find that? Did you look that up on YouTube?
And somebody had posted it, and I watched it about 10 times in 5 minutes, and I kill myself laughing every time.
I get fed up with YouTube, and I get fed up with people posting YouTube things. And then every once in a while, there was one there about 8 months ago I stumbled across, and it was a guy playing golf on a pond, and he missed the shot and fell on his back, and then of course the ice cracked. This was in the winter. So it was like, it'd been like maybe an inch of ice, maybe there was an inch of ice on there, so somehow he decided he was going to shoot a golf ball off of this ice, and he took a swing, missed the ball altogether, lost his footing, ended up on his back, and then right through the ice he went. And I'm thinking, and it was actually quite entertaining. I watched it more times than I should have. So anyways, I did my score, and the Toronto Maple Leaf answer, of course, was a good one. The hockey answer was good.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the No Sleep Man for a superhero. That one really sung for me, too. So I'm going to give him a pretty high score. I'm going with 7.3.
Wow. Very generous.
Yeah. Out of 100, that's a high score.
That's one of the higher ones we've ever had, I think.
I think so, exactly. All right. Well, that's it. What's next for you, Mike? What's next in the world of Mike Wichowski?
I think tomorrow I'm going to try to build some more fast tracks turnouts.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
And then I have to go back to work later this week, but that's about it, really. Nothing too exciting.
And are you gonna post some pictures of building your turnouts?
I am. I'm sure the first one or two are going to be interesting.
Yeah. And going to keep us updated on that.
Absolutely.
All right. I guess that's it, I guess. Oh, yeah. Email address, Bruce.
Our email address, if somebody wants to contact us by email, modellerslife, modelers with one L, modellerslife@gmail.com.
And we have a Facebook page, facebook.com/modellerslife. And we have our own website. That's amodellerslife.com.
Yes.
I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, no, I forgot to turn.
Just say amodellerslife.com. We'll get you links to all our podcasts.
Links to all our podcasts. And I forgot to turn on the recording.
Certainly.
Bruce,
Hey, Lionel.
Remember a long time ago we talked to James Mattern?
The galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, Jimmy,
Jimmy, James, Jimbo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mattern. He lives
Yes.
in Quinton, Pennsylvania.
Yes, he does.
Geography's not his strong suit.
Well, it's not ours either, so we're good that way.
And he works for the Norfolk Southern
Yes, he does.
in the engine department and locomotive department.
Yep.
In the engine shops. Well, that kind of tells you something right there. They call them the engine shops, not the locomotive shops.
Yeah.
I prefer locomotive over engine somehow.
Yeah. I was calling like steam engines with diesel locomotives. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. And whenever I think of engine, I think of a 327, a Chevy 327, the old days.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's where I get lost. Anyways,
right
James, Jimbo Mattern, he works for Norfolk Southern. We interviewed him. I think he was like episode 80 something or other. And then I thought it'd be cool to have him do the Kelly questions.
That's a fine answer. Fine idea.
See if he's still in the green room.
Okay, hang on.
So many months later.
Yeah, if he is. Well, no, yeah. James. Hello, James.
I thought it was Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy. Jimbo. Hey, you.
Hello.
Hey, you still here?
I'm still here.
Okay. Come on down. We're going to do some Cali questions with you.
All right.
Yeah, the Kelly question. So how's it been going, James, since the last time we talked to you?
It's been going swell.
Haven't been making any headway on Tom Jacobs' layout?
We're making progress. I'll keep it at that.
You're making progress. How about how's the Helix coming? Any progress on the Helix?
We're working on it. Let's just say we're working on it.
All right. Okay. You guys haven't got into any slap fights or nothing like that?
Not yet, no.
All right. That's good. Okay. So we're going to do the Kelly questions with you. Do you know what those are?
I believe. I don't have them memorized, but I think I can do this.
All right. Let's get right into them, Bruce?
That's the only way to do it. Get right into them and just not, don't dip your deep toe in and slowly wade in. Just jump right in and go for it.
Yeah, okay. So, Jim, do you prefer James? I like James. You strike me as a James for some reason or other.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with James.
Yeah. Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Steam.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot less work for me on a steam engine.
But you work in the diesel locomotive shops.
Yeah, but that's
are you modeling steam?
Well, like I said before in my interview, I've been tempted to go back to the 20s.
Or you could go back to the 40s, and that would be steam.
Yeah, I could.
And what are you modeling?
The Cornwall Railroad.
And where did it run from and to?
It ran from Cornwall, PA to Lebanon, PA.
Lebanon.
Yeah.
Lebanon.
Yep.
Lebanon, PA.
Yep.
How far was that? How far is that Cornwall to Lebanon?
About 6 miles.
Really? That's all?
That's it. I think the longest it was 13 miles because it did make an extension down to the town where I grew up was Mount Hope. It was 13 miles with that extension.
Why was it so interesting if it's only 6 miles long?
They hauled enough, I believe somewhere they got mentioned that they actually made enough money to almost qualify as a Class 1 railroad.
And where'd they haul it from and to?
They hauled the raw ore from Cornwall. There was an open pit and 2 deep mining operations here, and took it up to Lebanon and pelletized it or concentrated the ore and shipped it off to Bethlehem Steel facilities.
Wow. So that'd keep them busy.
It did.
What's your favorite prototype railroad?
I'd have to say the Cornwall Railroad, with Reading being a close second.
Yeah, because that's what Tom Jacobs is doing.
Yes.
And how about the Norfolk Southern? Where does it come in?
That's about 50th.
Well, don't tell them that.
I don't.
Yeah, that'd be a mistake.
Yeah, that would be.
If you're rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
Photograph.
Okay. What was your first model train?
My first model train was a Lionel train set.
Was it cool?
Oh, it was awesome.
Have you ever met anything or anybody named Lionel that wasn't?
Not yet.
Attaboy.
You were a little angry the last time we talked.
Yeah, we had some unpleasantness at the start of our interview because we had gremlins that took us about.
Yes.
We had some electrical gremlins that took us about 30 minutes to figure out, and by the time we got around to talking to you, I just wasn't in the mood for any crap.
No.
And but I warned you. In all fairness to me, I did warn you.
You did warn me.
I said you better be interesting, conversationalist, and not have any one-word answers. And you did really well. And pretty quickly, I calmed down, and we had fun. As I recall, we had endless amounts of fun.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was going really well until you were trying to describe to us Tom Jacobs' Helix.
Yeah, and then I goofed.
Yeah, things kind of deteriorated at that point.
Yeah.
Favorite model railroad scale?
HO.
Okay, true or false? Is N scale dead?
False.
No, is it? It's not really dead. It's just kind of lost in the hobby.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff runs so cool. This stuff runs so well nowadays. I know I've said it 100 times before, but I can't believe it that survived the 70s. But it does run well.
Yeah, we have an N scaler at work, so.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
How
he
many?
Doesn't like it. He doesn't like it when I go and hug him. He doesn't understand.
Yeah, because you have to.
Going, get yeah.
And how many that you know of are model railroaders at work?
Let's see. There's the two guys that come over, and then there's the N scaler, and then there's a Virginian modeler, and then a couple other guys said they had layouts. So at work,
and
a little over half dozen.
How do you guys find each other? Is there like a secret handshake or something?
There is now.
All right. What's your favorite model railroad?
Favorite model railroad? I like Stephen Mallory's Buffalo line.
Steve Mallory, Buffalo.
Yeah.
Line.
Yeah.
Has it ever appeared in print or anything or anywhere that we could see it? Does he have a website?
He has a website. I don't know off the top of my head what it is though.
Steve.
Bill Fagan though has. If you YouTube Bill Fagan, I'm sure you'll find Stephen Mallory's Buffalo line on the YouTube. Just Mallory's Buffalo line, Stephen Mallory's Buffalo line. I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
Oh, who's Bill Fagan? How did we get on to Bill Fagan? Who's he?
He's a guy that likes to travel and take his little camera and run it around your layout.
Really? And are his YouTube videos pretty good?
Some of them are good. Other ones I fall asleep on.
So Steve Mallory, I'm going to look up. I'm going to put in the.
Yeah.
I'm going to
PAModelrailroads.com/S Mallory.
All right, PA Model Railroads.
.com.
All right, that's a
/
Wait, hang on. You know I can't type it. You know I can't. I'm at model.
You're multitasking.
Yeah, that's the problem. I can't multitask. PA Model Railroads. RAI. No, I'm still doing railroads. Yeah, exactly. .com. Okay, it's coming up. Look at that. Operations calendar. And then there's a whole bunch of guys on here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who would be, we got to start asking people, Bruce, is who they'd like us to interview.
There you go.
Jim Herzog. I think Jim Herzog would be a good guy to interview, don't you? He's like, got a storied history in the hobby.
He's one of the nicest guys I know. He's awesome.
Yeah?
Yep.
Who's the nicest guy you know?
Lionel Strang.
Boy, this guy picks up quickly, doesn't he?
He does.
All right, Steve, I'm going to take a look right now, and at Steven. So that's your favorite. Have you gotten to operate on it?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Thursday night I'm going to go. The last Thursday of the month is his operating session, and that's one of the places I like to go on Thursday evening. The last Thursday of the month, that's where I'll be.
Okay, so you're kind of a regular on his layout.
Yes.
And how big is his layout?
Oh, I forget.
Well, like, is it like 40 by 50, 10 by 20?
Yeah, it's at least 40 by 30 something. It's massive.
Okay, in the basement of his house or an outbuilding?
In the basement of his house.
Okay,
28 by 34.
Okay, not quite as massive as I thought.
But he's got a 321-yard capacity staging yard.
Yes, it's quite huge.
And what job do you like to do there?
Renovo Yardmaster keeps me on my toes. The last session I had a meltdown.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I got confused.
But he's a good guy. So he's a pretty good guy. Whereabouts is he roughly in geographically?
He's in Camp Hill from Harrisburg. That's across the river, just west of Harrisburg.
Okay. So, and do you are you a regular operator on any other layouts?
Charles Kadike, Friday nights he likes to operate, and on his Friday sessions I like going over there. That's just a fun session.
Yeah, and what kind of layout does he have? Pennsylvania and New England.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool. So this PAModelRailroads.com has kind of got a website where they kind of have a bunch of people where you can go and operate on the layouts.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of organized.
Sort of.
I can't stand those organized guys. Nah, that's good. That's cool that they're organized. That's cool that they're that organized and that public. And are they always looking for operators, or is this just kind of a...
Mallory's session usually fills up pretty quickly. K-Dikes you can usually get into. Some of them are looking. It's fun.
How come you haven't been on? Have you tried to get into Ken McQuarrie's? I see he's got an operating session.
I haven't bugged Ken about getting into his session. He operates on Saturdays, and I work on Saturdays, so it's a little bit tough for me to get over there.
Okay. And it says by invitation only, so I think that kind of
it's tough.
Yeah, that's gonna kind of let me out by invitation only. I was there once. Maybe he'll remember me. All right.
Maybe.
Let's see. Who's been the most influential model railroader for you?
Paul Dolkus.
Okay, that's a good answer. Anything in particular about Paul?
His last layout, he said, you can fit your track. I forget how he put it. It was one of the Kalmbach videos, and I watched that thing over and over on his last layout that he did before this Baltimore thing.
Right.
And that's what got me started on my current layout. And I just went pen and paper and just said, I want this here, that there, and I got started.
So he was influential, and he's been a big help then, in other words.
Yeah, that just inspired me to get my out of the armchair modeling and back into building bench work.
Perfect. Select one of the following as your favorite: bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical.
I'd say scenery.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And have started your layout to the scenery stage yet, or are you still at the bench work and track lane stage?
I have some rough scenery done on it. I just roughing landforms out right now.
Okay. You like electronics, but your favorite is scenery.
Yeah.
Excellent. I like that. That's cool. If you gave somebody starting out in the hobby one item and cost was no object, what would it be?
Oh, I can't use Tom's.
You can't use Tom's.
Jacob's thing.
What was his answer?
He said a computer.
Oh yeah. Did we publish that one already?
Yeah, you did a while back.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
What would I give them? Because there's just so much information on it on the super highway that you can do.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should give
Maybe a toolkit to get them started.
Well-
Full set of tools.
Well, maybe you should give them a Mac computer. If you want to give them a computer, give them a Mac.
Well, let's go with a Mac then.
Yeah, there you go. Would you go with
Problem solved.
Yeah, would you go with the iMac or would you go with a laptop?
Let's keep them portable. Let's go with laptop.
All right, cool. Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
It's getting harder and harder to find a place around here. I'm going to say Cool Trains.
Cool Trains. That's a hobby shop?
It's a local hobby shop here.
And
it's in Salonga.
What's that?
It's not too far away.
All right, so is it like in Harrisburg?
It's in a town called Salonga.
Salonga.
Yeah.
So that's like when you leave, there's some guy standing at the sign saying Salonga.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God, that's bad.
That's terrible.
But it was the first thing that came to mind. How do you come up with a name like Salonga? Must be an Indian name.
Yeah, it's like the Susquehanna River.
Yeah.
There's some Indian names that stuck around.
All right.
It's on the old Harrisburg Pike down the road from Park City Mall.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so he's surviving the internet craze of buying all your stuff on the internet?
Every once in a while I do an internet thing, but most of the time I go down to the hobby shop if I need something.
Right, but I mean, he's surviving the internet craze. The cool hobbies is surviving it. Cool.
Right now he is, yeah.
He has an eBay store.
Yeah, that's probably how he's surviving.
And what do you call it? Cool Trains or Cool Hobbies?
Cool Train Hobbies.
All right, cool.
Cooltrains.com.
Cooltrains.com. Everybody go to cooltrains.com and buy something, even if you don't need it. Has that ever been a reason for a model railroader not to buy something? What's your favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
The NMRA Mid-East Region meet.
Meet or convention?
Convention, sorry.
All right. That's your favorite train event of the year?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, and do they have one in the fall and the spring or just one a year?
Just in the fall.
Just one a year in the fall. Mid-Eastern.
Yeah.
Where is it this fall coming up?
It's in Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Hershey area this fall. It's in my Susquehanna division's hosting it.
So you don't even have to get a room. You can just drive from home every day.
Exactly.
Perfect. Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Regular.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Dogs or cats?
Kitty cats.
Do you have one?
Yes.
What's its name?
Fang.
Fang. If you ever get a cat that's black with white feet, don't call it Socks.
Okay.
That name is used up.
Is it? That's good to know.
How old is Fang?
He's about 11.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's got some time in there with you.
Yeah, he does. Well, he was my brother's cat, but my brother had to move back home, and Mom's allergic, so I took him in.
All right. So how long has Fang been living with you?
He's been here for just about 7 years now.
Yeah. Does he pull his weight? Does he got a part-time job? Or?
Oh my God, does he have a lot of weight to pull? that boy's a big cat.
So Fang's been dipping into the food bowl a little too much, eh?
I have a cat alarm clock in the morning. I wake up by that. He's getting me up, and I hate when we have to change the clock.
So, favorite, or do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Favorite hot dog condiment or condiments?
I like onions on my hot dog.
That's okay. That's acceptable, eh, Bruce?
Certainly.
Yeah. Do you like ketchup on your hot dog?
Well, why would you put ketchup on a hot dog?
Exactly.
Perfectly good dog.
Exactly. You'd stop doing that when you're 8.
Maybe if I wanted something tomatoey, maybe some salsa on the hot dog.
There you go.
Never ketchup.
Exactly. The closest you can get is diced tomatoes. You can put some diced tomatoes, or preferably salsa. I would go. Next time you see Tom Jacobs putting ketchup on a hot dog, just slap him.
Okay.
All right. Have you ever been? If you were a beer can, what size would you be?
One of those big tall ones. How many sizes?
Yeah, one of those tall boys.
Yeah, tall boys. Yeah.
What's your beer of choice?
Beer of choice. Do we do summer? Or I'm gonna go Leinenkugel summer shanty right now. I like that stuff. That's good stuff.
Leinenkugel summer shanty.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's a short name like PBR.
Yeah.
Leinenkugel summer shanty.
Yeah, I like that stuff. That's good.
How many times have you solved a Rubik's Cube?
0. I did take the stickers off and move the stickers, and does that count?
No, that's the only way to do it.
The only way I do it is take it apart and put it back together.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do they even make those anymore?
Oh yeah.
Like yeah. Some of the guys at work like playing with those and trying to solve them real quick.
Really, they're still going, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, they're still going.
Okay. If you were a superhero, what sort of powers would you have?
I'd like to fly.
Okay. You have any idea what your costume would look like?
What's that dead guy's costume? I like that dead guy.
The dead guy?
Batman?
Deadpool.
Oh,
I'd be a Deadpool. Yeah, I like that costume.
Okay, similar to Deadpool.
Deadpoolish. Yes.
All right. Okay, cool. Have you ever had a brush with the law?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Was it interesting?
It got me into some trouble at work.
Oh, a brush with the law that got you in trouble with work. Can you give us a little? Hint what that would have been?
Well, I was with a female coworker at the time, and I forgot to turn the lights off, and apparently I was shining lights in the face of traffic, and I got a ticket let's keep it PG.
For activities.
Yes, for activities. Let's keep it PG.
Attaboy. That sounds like you were having fun anyway, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
That reminds me of an old joke, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's an old joke that you won't go there? Okay. So you were so busy.
It's not suitable for prime time.
Well, this is never on prime time. I don't even think.
True enough.
I don't even think anybody's listening.
That's a possibility.
So you got so busy in a hurry that you forgot to turn the lights off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's smooth. And that kind of ruined your evening when the cops showed up, I bet.
Yeah, that tap on the door, and I look around, and there's 3 cop cars around my car. That's a bad night.
Yeah, it's a bad night. That is a really bad night. So can we assume you're not with that person anymore?
No, I'm not with her anymore.
Yeah,
no.
That was smooth. Come on. Next time you're getting yourself in that situation, give me a dingle on the blower, and I'll see if I can steer you through it.
Okay.
Have you ever been on TV?
No.
Who's your best friend?
Troy Greenlee.
Troy Greenlee.
Troy Greenlee.
And model railroader?
Yeah.
And co-worker?
No. We met in high school, and we didn't know each other like trains until about our second year in school.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so that was cool. And then all of a sudden, you guys discover you're both model railroader. Is he still a model railroader?
Yes. Yes, he likes logging locomotives and all things logging.
All right, cool. And has he ever listened to the podcast?
He's not a big on computers. So,
Okay. All right. Neither am I, as we found out earlier tonight.
Yeah.
Or on the other show. We're not doing this on the same night. This is a whole different time.
It's just different.
Yeah. Do you do any impressions?
Not any good ones, no.
Okay. Are you easily impressed?
Sometimes I can be, yes.
Do you prefer baseball or hockey?
Baseball.
Okay. So here's a good question for you then. If you could choose only one professional sports team to root for, would it be the Detroit Tigers or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
The Tigers.
Attaboy.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only choose one person to be with, would you prefer to be with Bruce the mail boy or Lionel the short fat guy? Did you leave? Did he leave, Bruce?
Well,
No, I'm here. I said Lionel.
He's pondering a lot over that one. I don't think anybody think that long over that one.
I think your mic must have cut out because we didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
I turned my head and, yeah, I'll blame it on Tom. It's his microphone. Anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, last question, and this is a trick one. What is your name, Jimmy? No. What is your favorite podcast?
A Modeler's Life.
Attaboy. Okay, time to do the scores, Bruce.
Okay, Cypher Carry. Oh, I'm going to give him a 4 1/4.
4 1/4.
4 1/4.
Wow, that's a good score.
I'm feeling generous. And 4 1/4. He came through with the Tigers.
Yeah, that was a huge.
Kind of lost points with the non-answer on the desert island, but
Yeah.
I didn't mark it on too much for that because it is a tough question to answer.
It is. Well, he was for me. He was going. The score would go up, score would go down, score would go up. But then I enjoyed the brush with the law. I enjoyed that.
Yes, that was very entertaining.
Yeah, that was a good answer. And then of course the Detroit Tigers one. That's an automatic deduction.
Yeah, for you. But,
Yeah.
Considering you're the guy in charge, yeah.
And then the desert island one, that really threw me. So, but anyways, I enjoyed the brush with the law. So I feel like I gave him a fairly solid score of 2 3/4.
Wow. Not bad for you.
No, that's what I thought. Which of course is a total of 7, which makes him 3.5.
That's a solid score.
Yeah, that's solid. That puts you right in the middle of the pack, I think, or maybe closer.
Oh, we got to start. It's like they used to do on.
I've thought of that
with the magnetic board there, and
that's exactly what we need to do. We need to do that on the website. That means somebody has to go back and listen to all of them and get the scores, Bruce.
Ooh. I can do that on my summer vacation.
There you go. Where are you going on? Where did you go on your summer vacation?
Nowhere yet.
Yet? The summer was there's one.
Last time wasn't much, but coming up could be entertaining.
Okay, but last summer, back in 2017, where did you go?
Didn't really go anywhere. Just kind of hung around and a couple day trips here and there.
Okay. All right. I think that's it. So you should give out our email address.
Email address, if you want to contact us, is Modeler's Life, Modelers with 1 L, modeler'slife@gmail.com.
And we have a Facebook page, which is Facebook.
You have a Facebook page.
Facebook.com/Modeler's Life.
Yes.
And we have a website, amodelerslife.com.
Yes.
And we also, if you want to leave us a message at our branch office in Provo, Utah, you can call them there. They're manning the phones right now. It's 385-204-4388. So call now. Operators are waiting. Anything else we need to cover?
I think that about covers it.
All right. That's about it. So what'd you think, James? How'd you do?
I love the score. I feel like I did very well.
Well, that's good. Now hit the road. And don't forget.
Okay.
And don't forget, if you see Tom with ketchup on his hot dog, just smack him.
Okay, just
Yeah. All right, that's it. Get out of here.
all right. Later.
Yeah, later, dude. All right, so now we're gonna do Kelly questions. Everybody loves the Kelly questions, except we don't get them out very much. But this is like so old. This one we did so long ago with our young friend Jason Quinn, who frequently rolls his Jeep. What is he driving? He's a Jeep something or other.
That's a CJ7.
Are you in the studio already?
Well, the door was open.
So you just come in.
Look at him. He's peeking between the ceiling tiles.
Yeah.
You guys had air conditioning. It's hot out.
Maybe he just rolled the Jeep and this was the closest building.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
That looks familiar.
Well, now that we're in Kentucky, in Busted Knuckle, Kentucky, there's all kinds of hills for him to take his Jeep at.
yeah.
Yeah. He's actually staring at us through the window at the 48th floor. We're on the Appalachians.
Yeah.
We're in the valley, and he's on the side of the hill staring at us.
Yep.
So now we're going to do the Kelly questions with Jason Quinn from Indianapolis, Indiana, home of the largest sporting spectacle in the world, the Indianapolis 500. The greatest sporting spectacle in the world. There's actually more people at that in one day than anything else in the world. I think the capacity is like 240,000 or something. Isn't it something crazy like that?
It's a few.
You got a couple seats over here, a couple seats over there. I don't know what you're stressing about.
Yeah. They pack them in pretty good.
Oh, man, they pack them in good. I made this... When I went, I made the smart move of getting the parking pass and everything, and I still ended up walking about 42 miles. You can't believe how many people are there. It's unbelievable how many people are there.
2017, it was 300,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. 300,000 at one sporting event. Can you imagine? That's almost
all trying to park cars.
Yeah, that's almost as big as the crowds we get when we do these podcasts.
Almost.
We should do one live once and see if anybody shows up. That would actually be a lot of fun. All right, Jason, you've shown up to do the Kelly questions. It usually takes me quite a while to get the Kelly questions out. We still haven't even, I think by now we may have released Shane, the Young Guns Kelly questions. He's quite excited about that. We have so much stuff. That's the problem. We have so many people to talk to and so much stuff to put out.
Stuff are us?
Stuff are us. But, Jason,
Yes.
We interviewed you. You were episode something like 83 or 84 or 85, something like that. And we interviewed you. You're from Indianapolis. You're a weathering guru. You've been on Ken Patterson's What's Neat This Week. When you chose your wardrobe that day, you apparently didn't look in the mirror. Oh, that's not true. You're a fine-looking young man.
I just wanted to look like the common man, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, wait a minute. I just thought of something. When we were doing your interview, I was giving you a hard time about your Mustangs being silver.
Yeah.
Well, your Jeep CJ is green.
Yeah.
Now that's
Grandpa
a color.
green.
That's a color. That's a
Well,
color. Silver's
in all
not a
honesty,
color.
Well, I don't know if I can really argue that fact. I might have to agree with you.
Yeah, silver is like it's like nothing. Like I said before, when I go past radar, I want the guy to be able to identify me. It's that guy on that red bike right there.
I'm just glad it's not brown. So many cars from that time frame were brown.
Yeah, that's true too. And there was a word often that went before the brown.
That we can't speak of right now.
Yeah, that would require a goal horn. All right,
Yeah, that's right.
and I believe, and correct me, Bruce, if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first time ever that the Kelly questions have been co-hosted by none other than Bruce Kelly, superfan number one, and the creator of the Kelly questions.
That's correct.
This is your first time as an observer. You're in the ring with the competitors as we do the Kelly questions.
That's correct.
That's pretty exciting. I'm excited.
Yes. Yep.
Are you excited, Jason?
Ecstatic.
All right, let's get right to it. Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Is this for me?
No, this one's for
Oh, this is gonna be
Oh man!
this.
and there's people that pay for this stuff.
And this question was for Bruce. Of course, it's for you.
All right. Well, I have an answer.
Let me try that again. Okay, Jason, let's get right to it. Which do you prefer, steam or Jason, let me start with an easier question. Jason Quinn, what is your first name?
Jason.
All right.
No why.
Show off.
And you have your own song. When Quinn the Eskimo gets here.
Yeah, pretty famous. I even had a medical doctor from the 1800s too.
Did you?
Dr. Quinn, the medicine woman.
Oh, there you
Quinn.
go. Exactly.
Yeah.
And are you married?
No, I'm not.
Well, don't say it like that.
Well, happily unmarried.
And there
I
you
should
go.
say.
Yeah, and you got your own house. You're a young guy. You're a catch.
I know. I just, I need to work. I need to sell myself better.
Yeah. You need to have
And
me.
then-
You know what? You need to have me help you out. You need to be hanging with me, and then the babes will be flocking to you.
That's what I need to get a
No,
Harley. That's
you
what I
should
need
be
to do.
hanging. You should be hanging out with Miles Hale.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
I believe that Miles Hale, and I told him this at the last Springfield show I was at. I believe that Miles Hale is the modern day Lynn Westcott.
Yes.
He is the most giving model railroader that I know of. And there's lots of good guys, lots of guys that are quite happy to share their information. But I believe Miles Hale is the modern day version of Lynn Westcott.
Mm.
Very knowledgeable, very nice, very everything.
He delivers the information so that it's easy to understand too.
He does. And when we did the Kelly questions with him, he seemed to understand that the questions were for him.
I just wanted to make sure. New to this. I'm the greenhorn right now. I just don't want to overstep my bounds.
Which do you prefer, steam or diesel?
Diesel.
And why do you prefer diesel?
Because Chessie System only had one steam locomotive that really didn't even belong to them.
So when did the Chessie system start?
1972, I believe.
The same year that they began manufacturing SD40-2s.
That is correct.
And so how did you become a fan of the Chessie system?
Honestly, when I was getting back into the hobby,
No, not honestly. Make something up.
well, I can't make it up on the spot. I just have to tell you the truth. The layout room in my hiatus became quite the catch-all. This stuff was getting thrown in there.
Right.
And I was cleaning it out so I could use it again. And I think it was the Jerry Doyle Chessie System Locomotives book.
Right.
And I saw that book and I started thumbing through it. And I was like, man, I think I'm going to do Chessie System. And just like that, it's pretty much how it happened.
That's cool.
My dad worked for Conrail in the 70s.
Right.
But, I don't have any real ties to Conrail stuff.
Conrail was cool.
I just like the colors, I guess.
All right. So you said this was in your hiatus?
Oh, yes.
And was that a 2-door or the 4-door hiatus?
That would have been the 4-door hiatus.
The
Like
hatchback.
the long trips.
Yeah. Boy, I make myself laugh.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know, honestly. It was probably 14 years or so I was out of it.
Okay. Really? You were out of it that long?
It was a while.
From
I didn't get back into it till I was probably 25.
All right. Okay.
Got out, when I started getting a driver's license, driving was cooler than screwing around blue boxes.
I got a feeling Shane has left us. There's no noise. Shane has left us, Bruce. He's lost
Maybe he's on
interest.
mute. Maybe he's on mute.
Sorry, I super glued my finger to the mute button. This shed's a little trickier than I thought it was.
I knew when I heard nothing from the 2-door hiatus, I knew you'd done something. That was immediate. That would have got an immediate response. All right, what's your favorite prototype railroad?
Oh,
Currently, I guess I'd have to say CSX. They're the kind of the hometown team around here.
All right. They're the hometown team in Indianapolis?
Yeah, we have, Indiana Railroad is so close to me, but I can't see them. It's almost insulting. I can hear the locomotives, the horn, the cars on the rail, everything, but I cannot see them.
And where do they run from and to?
Indiana Railroad runs from Indianapolis south till about Bloomington, Indiana, which is where Indiana University is.
Right.
And then they start heading west to Newton, Illinois. And then, I think about 10 years ago or so, they bought up a whole bunch of old Milwaukee Road / Sioux trackage.
Right.
From CP Rail. So now they're running over in Terre Haute area in that region too.
So they're a reasonably going concern.
Yeah, I think Railway Age named them one of the top short lines in America.
And it's called
they're the Indiana Railroad.
Indiana Railroad. Better look that one up first.
I'm looking at it right now.
They're hauling a lot of they're hauling double stacks.
Okay.
Up through here. It's crazy. They got unit double stack trains running.
That's cool.
It's pretty massive. It goes to Crane.
Yeah, Crane Naval Base.
And then Terre Haute, I guess it's pronounced, right?
Yep. Terre Haute.
A famous racing place. Very famous.
Terre Haute's a pretty big city.
Yeah. Well,
Now, do they go past Terre Haute? Because there's dotted lines after Terre Haute, and I'm trying to figure out.
I think they pass the traffic off to CSX, and CSX takes it to Chicago. I think. They were even running Powder River Union Pacific unit coal trains with DPUs on them.
Wow. And they got a cool paint scheme.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, don't it?
Yeah, I like that. That's pretty
cool. And now that Norfolk Southern has, they have a couple of their 9043 Max that they haven't turned into their, what do they call them, 70 ACUs, I think.
Yep.
There's some Indiana Railroad stuff running around on NS.
So they have trackage rights to Chicago.
I believe so. I'm not totally sure.
I'm looking at their system map right now, and it goes Terre Haute to Chicago as a dotted line. It says trackage rights.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Bruce, you're doing a good job. That must be the guys named Bruce are really good at looking up stuff.
Pretty much.
I just got this email from Bruce. If I'm ever on the show, I have to step up my game.
Minimum requirement of 3 browser windows with Google open at all times.
Yeah.
That's a very cool paint scheme. Very cool.
Oh yeah, scheme. And then look up Louisville and Indiana. They're right over here too.
Oh yeah.
Louisville and Indiana, they got big things coming right now. It used to be a Conrail line from Indy to Louisville, and they sold it off in the early 90s to Louisville and Indiana. And now CSX is footing the bill to revamp the whole thing. They're putting welded rail in and planning on, rumor has it, about 15 trains a day on it.
Really?
CSX is using. Mm-hmm. Right now they're running 3 auto rack trains a day up it.
That's cool.
People are hating that because the track is still jointed rail and they're running about 20 mile an hour. The communities around here are in an uproar. It's pretty funny.
What are you building there, Shane?
This damn 130-foot 2-bay engine facility from Walthers and N-Scale.
You were building that like a year ago.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen the way I work. I really don't.
I've been accused of that.
So the Louisville, Indiana Railroad, it looks like almost Pennsylvania colors with a Pennsylvania emblem on it.
Mm-hmm. Very similar.
Oh, you know what? They had one of those down at Mid-America Car about last year.
Yeah, they were repainting them and redoing them.
Yeah, I remember. I think I got a photo of one of those somewhere.
Yeah, I think they had the GP38-2s.
Something like that, yep.
And they go from Indianapolis to Louisville.
Yep.
Is this a Kelly Questions?
Yeah. Well, this is what happens on the Kelly Questions. You start talking about other cool stuff. That's why it's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, if you were rail fanning, would you rather photograph the trains or ride on them?
Photograph.
And what's your favorite photograph? Do you have a favorite photograph? Where's your favorite place to go and train watch?
Well, I've been out west chasing the UP through Cheyenne, and you basically follow, Route 30 all the way out from Omaha. Chase the UP. That was pretty neat. Being up on Sherman Hill is pretty neat.
Yeah. How busy? How busy is Sherman Hill? Is it?
It's pretty busy.
Yeah.
There's a place that's east of Cheyenne, like Grand Island, Nebraska. Just west of there, they start the triple track all the way to North Platte. And, you see a train go by, and then you see the headlight of the next one. And it's like that all the time. And in Grand Island, the BNSF has a flyover. So you're getting UP trains constantly. Then BNSF trains are running over the top of the UP. So it's a nice little place to sit. Constant action.
Wow, that's cool. All right. What was your first model train?
A real bona fide model train, I'd say, is probably my uncle got me a Bachmann set with had a Santa Fe F7, but it was painted in the paint job like they just didn't care, because it was silver plastic with thin red paint, and the whole war bonnet wasn't finished. It had none of the yellow on it, and it was pretty crude, but that was it. I still have it, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
How come some guys have their first train stuff and I don't have any of it?
Well, my parents did throw it away.
How about you, Bruce? Do you have any of your first train stuff?
No, in fact, the one engine I bought was that AHM Reading little switcher.
Right.
And I went on eBay to see if I could find another one, and I found a couple of them, and I bought them.
So now you have replicas of your first train stuff.
Yes.
How about you?
Kind of a. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't walk on you.
No, that's okay. And people do it all the time. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently he hasn't listened to any of the shows. No. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Now I can't remember what it was. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, Shane.
I was going to say,
do you have any of your original train stuff?
I think I still have the junk Bachmann F7 UP somewhere. It's not in great condition, and by that I mean it's missing half the pilot. There's no longer couplers or side frames. It kind of became my first tinker toy when I really got back into model trains again, to say, how's that work?
Okay, all right, I got it. All right. So, what's your favorite model railroad scale there, Jason?
HO, by far.
True or false? Is N scale dead?
In my eyes, it is.
I lied. Don't come to Kansas City.
What's your favorite model railroad?
My favorite one? I really like Mike Confalone's. Things, quite the inspiration.
Mike Confalone is becoming the modern day guy. He's becoming the guy. A lot of people really like his stuff.
It's really good.
It's really good. And where does he live? He lives in the Northeast somewhere, doesn't he?
Massachusetts, I think.
Okay. That's not that far from Canada.
No, it's not. 500
You ought to go pay him a visit.
Yeah. Who is the most influential model railroader for you?
Man, I don't know if I could put it on one. I mean, I'd have to say probably the weathering shop guys, just all of them.
Oh, you got to pick one.
They're the ones that I got to pick one.
Yeah, you got to pick one.
Probably Gary Christensen. He's done a lot of work trying to teach people how to do what he does. So
I would have gone with Jeff Meyer because he's a close personal friend of Shane's.
Jeff's good too. Jeff is good too. But you made me pick one.
That's going to be some negative points on the end of the score. Just a heads up.
Yeah, exactly. Select one of the following as your favorite: bench work, track work, scenery, or electrical.
Probably scenery.
All right. Because you've done some. I saw some. You get on the top of your Chessie page, you've got some nice scenery.
Mm-hmm.
You've done. Yeah,
And-
I think you're kind of got an artistic. I think you have a bit of an artistic bent there, buddy.
A little bit, and it's probably better off my bench where it gets covered.
Yeah, I like that. yeah. He built scenery because he had to cover the bench work. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
That's original.
something had to cover that up.
If you gave somebody starting out in the hobby, could give somebody starting out in the hobby just one item, and cost was no object, what would it be?
A DCC system.
Any particular manufacturer?
I use NCE. I find it easy to use.
Yes, NCE is very easy to use. That's the choice. That's the official DCC system of the AML network.
Yeah, they're very user friendly. They may not be technically the most advanced one you can purchase, but ease of use for somebody new, that's what I would do. Get them a DCC system.
All right, there you go. Where do you buy most of your model railroad supplies?
DCC train in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, where are they? Are they on the north side, south side, east side, west side?
They are on the southeast side off Beachmont Avenue.
All right.
Just inside the 275 loop.
Okay. So you cruise over there on a Saturday and hang out.
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm there all day. Sometimes I'll go over to Rob's house and run on his layout. He's got a complete basement layout.
Who's Rob?
Rob Gruber's one of the guys that runs the DCC train.
Oh, okay. So a couple of guys own it, or?
Alex actually owns it, but Rob is basically their, sales guy.
Okay, cool. And he's got a big layout.
Yeah, he models the Illinois Central. I don't know the exact name of the division, but it goes through like Champaign, Illinois, like from Chicago to Champaign to Southern Illinois.
Okay, cool. What's your favorite train event of the year, model or prototype?
I like the prototype modelers meet, so it'd be model.
Well, yeah, but which one you got to pick an actual event.
The St. Louis prototype modelers meet.
All right. Which is, how far from St. Louis are you? In Indianapolis?
I am, depending on how much I break the law speeding, roughly about 3 hours.
Okay. And have you ever been there at the same time that our very own Shane the Young Gun has been there?
Yes, but I was starstruck and didn't say anything to him.
Good answer. Bonus points.
Bonus point on that one.
Yeah, I met him. Yeah. I met him the other day, and I wasn't starstruck. I hit him with a hockey stick, but I struck a star. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Depends on the manufacturer of the beer.
Okay. Do you prefer regular beer or light beer?
Probably light.
Okay. Do you prefer salty or sweet?
Salty.
I thought for a minute that maybe he'd left. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Do you have one?
I don't. No.
Are you thinking of getting
one? I got
one?
friends who have them though. I have hardwood floors, and I'm just not really into wanting to reseal them.
Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
That's well, you didn't say Fago.
Fago. What's your
Indiana Railroad's running by right now?
Oh, there you go.
Hear him, can't see him.
And you can't see him. We can't see him either.
Yeah.
Favorite hot dog condiment or condiments?
Chili.
Well, that's not a bad answer.
Yeah,
that works.
Delicious.
Yeah. Do you put ketchup on your hot dog?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
but you said one.
Yeah, that's right.
I can tell you how I fully dress those bad boys if you want me to.
Well, don't ever put it. You shouldn't. You should have stopped putting ketchup on your hot dog by the age of 8. I'm just telling you. That's just their official AML stance. Have you ever danced on TV in ethnic costume?
Not on TV.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe we'll better leave that one there, right? What do you think, Bruce?
I don't know. I think I want to hear more.
It's not that good.
So I'm assuming this happened. Please tell me this happened in elementary school.
It did. Christmas play.
Christmas play. What ethnicity?
Wow.
We did the Nutcracker play, and I was one of the Arabian dancers. I threw my black sweatpants on and no shirt.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Try and do that these days to elementary school.
I'm glad you didn't show up like that to be on What's Neat This Week.
I would have got noticed.
If you were a can of beer, what size would you be?
Well, I'd have to be the big one.
The biggest you can get.
That 40.
The tall boy.
Yeah.
How many times have you solved a Rubik's Cube?
0.
Attaboy. Same as here. If you were a superhero, what sort of powers would you have?
I'd like to hear what people are thinking.
Wow. You'd be like, what would the name of that guy be?
The thinker?
The Thought Man.
Yeah, Thought Man.
Thought Man. What would you? Any idea what your costume would look like?
Question mark. Wait a minute, those already been done.
Question.
Yeah, with
He'd just be a giant ear that would walk around.
a giant
Yeah,
ear.
just a giant ear.
He'd have spandex, a big spandex onesie. I'm imagining it to be sort of a greenish blue, kind of a color that turns you off, with a big ear on the front, with a gold belt and a red cape.
Yeah, it'd be all the rage.
Yeah.
kind of that Aquaman sound, that
Yeah, it'd have to have lights on it too.
Yeah. How have you ever had a brush with the law?
Yes.
What happened?
Which time?
Your
Best
favorite.
time.
Your favorite. Let me try a different approach. How fast were you going?
Well, if you're gonna go down that road, I was going 60 in a 40 after a date because I just started going out with this girl, and I had to go to the restroom, and I held it the whole time, and I was trying to get home to take care of business, and I got pulled over.
Holy moly. So then you had to go, and then you got pulled over.
Yes.
To make matters worse.
Yeah, I didn't even tell him that because he wouldn't have believed me, but that was the truth.
No, I would have told him. I
just wanted to give me my ticket so I could get on my way.
Yeah. That's me. I always pull over before the guys even got the lights on.
Yeah.
Well, that was a cop. Might as well just put that blinker on now.
I'll just pull over now. As you can see him turning around or pulling out.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on TV?
Yes.
And doing what?
I was in a PSA announcement for the city of Indianapolis when I was a kid about proper leaf removal. Yeah, I'm pretty famous. They filmed my brother and I raking leaves and putting them in bags and then taking them out to the curb.
Wow.
Because there was a certain protocol you had to follow for the city to pick up your leaves.
And
So that's a hard process.
yeah,
I know.
What was your motivation for that part?
I thought I was going to hit it big, but I'm still waiting.
Who's your best friend?
My best friend?
Yeah, your best friend. I asked you first.
Oh, I believe that was the question.
Yeah.
Man, I'd have to say Dave Sheehan.
Dave Sheehan. We were talking about him during your interview. Who's that guy?
Yeah.
What's his deal?
Well, he's a lineman for REMC in Eastern Indiana.
REMC, what's that?
It's a rural electrical something cooperation.
Okay.
Basically, it's REMCs are in place of like a power company can't make money out in the rural area, so an REMC is like subsidized,
right?
So that people in rural areas can have power.
Okay, and he's a lineman for those guys.
Yeah, and he grew up along the Chessie line that I'm going to be modeling on my new layout.
Okay.
And
so how'd you meet him?
I met him through a mutual friend on a caboose ride that the what do they call it? White River Valley Railroad or something over in Connersville, Indiana.
Right.
And one of my buddies, Billy Danforth, who I met via Mustangs because he had a Cobra like I had, except his was white. And he's like, "Hey, I heard you're into trains." And so I was like, "Yeah." So we both had the same car and we're into trains, and you know the rest of the story.
Yeah.
Anyways, I met Dave on that caboose ride.
Ah, cool. And
So.
you kind of give Billy Danforth the old heave-ho.
Well, not really, but Dave and I have a lot more in common. So, and Billy's out west chasing Union Pacific stuff out in Cheyenne right now.
Oh, cool. And
So he does it every year. He goes out there.
well, that's cool. Do you do any impressions?
I do all kinds of impressions.
Really?
Depends on who's upsetting me that point in time. When I gotta go gripe about somebody, for some reason I try and sound like them. I don't know why, but when I'm telling my tale, I want the people to really feel like they're there.
That's pretty good. I like that. Do you prefer baseball or hockey?
Actually, I like hockey better.
Attaboy.
Yes. Bonus points.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good answer.
hockey games are a lot more fun to watch than baseball.
Yeah, that's true. If you could only choose one of the following professional sports teams to root for, would it be the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Medford Dodgers, or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
I go with the Maple Leafs.
Nice answer. Whoa.
Well, they're Canadian. It's hockey.
Exactly.
That's going to be a deduction.
I mean, that's like peanut butter and jelly,
Whoa, man. Did you hear that, Shane? He just basically described the reason why you should only ever be a Maple Leafs fan. It's peanut butter and jelly.
My cousin played for the Blackhawks.
Your cousin played for the Blackhawks?
Whoa,
For
hang
1
on.
year.
Time out.
Yeah.
Back this up.
Who was your cousin?
Kevin Quinn.
Sure. I remember him.
Yeah, he did that thing with the stick and the puck.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was that
I don't
guy.
know this was. Yeah, I think he only played for them for a year.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
He was more minor league stuff.
Right, but still, making it to the bigs even for one game is an accomplishment.
Yeah, well, he's a pretty accomplished guy. If Bruce wants to work up the internet machine, look up Points North Heliski Adventures.
Points North,
Heliski
Adventures. So he has a helicopter where they do skiing adventures?
Yeah, he owns a company. It's like a vacation place in Alaska. They fly these extreme skiers up to the top of the mountain and drop them off. They ski down the things.
Wow, that's cool. So he lives in Alaska?
He lives in Truckee, California, but his business is in Cordova, Alaska.
Okay, cool. That's interesting. If
he's an interesting guy. Them hockey players,
yeah.
They bring more to the table than you think.
Do you think he's more interesting than Shane?
Well, maybe, but that's just because he's older.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's a good answer. If you were stranded on a desert island with just one person, would you prefer to be with Bruce Kelly, superfan number one and the originator of the Kelly questions, Lionel, the old guy, or Shane, the young gun?
I think I'd have to go with you.
With Lionel.
Yes.
I think that's a great answer. I really do. Toronto Maple Leafs and me. Wow, that's good. One last question. What's your favorite podcast?
The AML Network.
There you go. Perfect. All right, boys. It's time to tabulate the scores. Who's ready? Who's got their score ready? Shane, are you still there?
Hang on, I'm crunching a number here.
Yeah, he forgot to carry the 2.
I was going to say, do you carry the 2 or is that a divide by?
It's to the power of 2.
Oh, of course, right. Yeah. Exponents. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think I'm ready.
Okay, go.
All right. Well, you did good with the hockey answer, and then you really messed that up with the Toronto Maple Leafs answer. So I'm gonna give you a 0.75 and hopes that you would pick a winning team next time.
0.75.
That's 3/4.
Yeah, that's 3/4 out of 100. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How about you, Bruce?
All right, I got took points off because C&O has been around for a real long time, so they have steam engines.
Oh.
We said the chassis system.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
C&O. That's when I think of it. But you're right. The
And
chassis system.
And here's a little. Don't ever argue with the creator of the Kelly questions. That's your score. Your score is going to
get tossed.
Yeah, you'll get tossed. You won't even get a score. You'll get a DNF.
Guaranteed way to never have your Kelly questions aired.
Yeah.
But anyway, I gave him points because he really knew how to suck up to the host, which is good.
Yeah.
Since when were you hosting it?
No, not me. Lionel. He did well with Lionel.
So you're giving him bonus points because he sucked up to Lionel?
Oh, yeah.
You got to know how to smooth the customer.
We can also take points away because he didn't answer the first question when he was supposed to.
Yeah, he struggled with his own name.
So I'm going to give him a 5.
That's a pretty good score. You know what? He was going to get a really high score from me until you reminded me that he didn't know who he was at the start.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
They sewed my name onto my shirt at work.
Yeah. Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the hockey answer, of course, were high score marks, but that thing at the beginning was a bit of a floundering, which kind of slowed the whole process down. So,
but the listeners will love it.
We'll see. We'll let the listeners decide.
I'm in trouble.
So I took all in consideration. I divided by 3, multiplied by the day of the month, and divided by the day of the week, and came up with 9.82. So he still got a pretty good score, but he he was well on his way to like a high score. But that whole not knowing who he was at the start.
Well, if I take Shane's 0.75 and add it to your 9.82, that's over 10.
Yeah, but then you got to throw in the 5 from Bruce and divide by 3, so you're pretty much back down to 5.
I'm the same place I was when I began today. So okay.
Yeah. No, I think you've gone up a couple of notches.
I want to give him some. I want to put some points back because I stand corrected. I was looking at the Chesapeake and Ohio and not the Chesapeake system.
Yeah.
Too late.
So he got another 5.
No. You're giving him 10?
Yeah, I'll give him a 10.
I don't know. Shane, can we do that?
I feel like once the points are submitted, that's it.
Yeah, like
wait a minute. I'm the originator of the
true.
Man, is Russia involved in this in any way, shape, or form?
Hey, you leave my business interests out of this, okay?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I think this is perfect for a guy that didn't know who he was when we started. His score will forever in perpetuity be under review.
Yeah. Next to his name will be an asterisk.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so I would ask you guys to give out the email address, but let's let Bruce try again.
All right. If you want to reach us through email, our email address is amoddlerslife@gmail.com. That's 1 L in modelers, not 2 in Lionel.
There you go. That was pretty good, Shane. I think he nailed that pretty good, don't you?
Getting better.
Yeah.
Getting there.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
It's like he had that off-season time to practice his
the off-season. Yeah, he did the summer league. Someday in the future, I think I've come up with a really good email. Let me take a crack at it. I think you're going to love this, Shane.
Okay.
This is our email address is modellerslife@gmail.com. That's 1 L in modelers, like Leafs, not 2 L's like Lionel.
It's got a Canadian
is that
feel
a stab
to
at Shane?
Yeah, everything's a stab. This entire show is a stab at Shane.
Yeah, and you didn't help.
Yeah. Your score is bouncing around. Your score is like a what do they call those things? What do you call it? The things that measure earthquakes.
Richter scale.
Yeah. Your score is like one of those machines that measures earthquakes. It's bouncing up and down like your score is going up and down like a toilet seat and
At the Indy 500.
yeah, exactly.
Those are, yeah. That's all another show in itself.
You know what? This is carburation day on the AML network.
Yeah, we're practicing.
Yeah.
Lionel, so is it safe to say, like a real big tarp? I think we got this all covered.
Yeah, exactly. Like a real big tarp, we got this all covered. Get the hell out of here. Okay, there you have it. 3 sets of Kelly questions that have been carefully preserved so that we, the listening public, can enjoy them at our leisure after they've carefully been aged. All right, so if you want to check out our website, it's modelerslife.com. If you go to modelerslife.com, you're going to find links to our Facebook page and our Patreon page and a whole bunch of other stuff. This is a free podcast, and if you're new to us, it doesn't get much better. This is the highest of the quality. This is all we can provide. We really are we don't have a lot of talent here at the old AML studios. So if you're expecting more, that was it. And we have an email address. If you want to email us, you can email us at modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with one L like Lionel. No, that's modelers with one L like... I haven't done this for a while. I can't remember what it is. Oh, yeah, I remember what it is. That's modelers with one L like railroad and not 2 L's like Lionel. I'm going to try that one more time. Bruce the Angry Mailboy is going to be just cringing listening to this. It's modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with one L like railroad, not 2 L's like Lionel. And I told you about our website, our email address, Facebook, Patreon. I think I got it all covered. Okay, so drive careful on the way home. Stop by and get a few groceries. Maybe go. Try a vegetarian meal tonight. Yeah, try to have a meal where you that's bland, tasteless, and good for you. That'd be a great idea. And when you get home, say hi to the kids. Give the wife a little peck on the cheek, and maybe cut the grass. Feed the chickens. There you go. Feed the chickens. All right. See ya.
Why do we never get an answer when we're knocking at the door with 1,000 million questions about hate and death and war? It's when we stop and look around us, there is nothing that we need in a world of persecution.
It's another Lincoln Homer. Oh, we forgot to get Ralph on again.